Welcome everyone to the first demo day of the Gross Law Firm. My name is Yarden Arel Cohen and I'm the business coordinator of the high-tech practice in our firm. This webinar is brought to you, it's not actually a webinar, it's a demo day, so it's much more interesting than a webinar. And it's brought to you by Gross Law Firm and the Zell Entrepreneurship Program of the IDC Herzliya. Today we will present to you 5 startups with founders that mentored and graduated from the Zell Entrepreneurship Program. And I want to thank you all for taking the time to join us. I'm sure you will be excited by the pitches you're about to see. And before we start, let's hear Dr. Ayal Shenav, Head of High-Tech and Venture Capital Practice in our firm, and Liat Aharonson, the Executive Director of the Zell Entrepreneurship Program. So Ayal, the stage is all yours.
Okay, thank you, Yarden, and thank you everyone for joining, the panelists and the participants. It's obviously very exciting for me because I don't know if many of you know, but I've been fortunate to teach the Zell program since its first year. I think now in years 15 or 16, Liat will correct me. So it's a very big opportunity for us to connect with Zell and our firm. And basically, I think it's a very important event, allowing 5 fantastic companies to pitch. I think we're going to have over 30 or 40 potential investors in the participating here, and I really hope it will be an interesting day, and hopefully good things will turn out. So thank you, Yarden and Kochavit, our marketing director, for organizing it. And I'll turn it off to Liat now, who will tell you a little about the Zell program, and then we'll let the panelists present their companies. So thank you, everybody, and good luck.
Thank you, Ayal. So just to clarify, it's, who's counting the years? We're in Zell 20 now. So you've been in the program for 20 years. And we, of course, super appreciate that and your involvement and your support of the program for all these years. And while we're at it, I'll just thank you to Yarden for getting all of this together, and Kochavit from your office who did the design and of the invite and got everything kind of coordinated. So thank you. So the Zell Entrepreneurship Program, I think many of you here know it, and many of you have even seen these ventures along the way, whether it was while they were working on them in the program or after. It's a year-long program for students in their final year of studies that get together and try to create a real venture. What's special about this group is something new that developed about 5 years ago when Sam Zell generously extended his donation to cover what we created as the ZEP Fund. So it's not technically a fund, but it is an allocation of 5 investments every year to startups that come out of the program or startups that have at least one alumni as a founding member. And what you're going to see here this weekend on the 21st are examples of 5 such investments that are now currently raising additional funds. And whether they were chosen in our last batch or a few batches ago, we're in vintage 6 now of the Zell investments. We have 26 companies in our portfolio, and we try to support them along the way in any way we can. And this is just one example. So again, thank you to GKH for hosting this and putting it all together. And although I can't see you all in the webinar, I know from all the list of many investors and venture capital funds that we know a lot of you, and a lot of you support the program and come and mentor and come to our panel presentations. So thank you kind of all around for that. Excited to see what we have today.
So thank you, Liat, and thank you, Ayal. And I think we're now ready to dive into this demo day. And I'll explain a bit how it is going to work. We will, each panelist that I will present soon will pitch for 5 minutes, and then we'll answer your question if you have any. I hope you do. And I invite you to send your questions in the chat, or if it's a complicated one, just let us know using the chat, and then we'll open your mic when the pitch is done. So then the amazing panelists, I think we are ready now to present them already. The amazing panelists that are going to pitch for us today are Nimrod Bar-Niv, CEO and co-founder of Dynamo. And Nimrod, you can open your camera for a sec so everyone can see you. Tommy Barav, CEO and co-founder of Magical. I invite you also, Tommy. Yotam Idan, CEO and co-founder of Whiskey. Steve Ivory, CEO and founder of Yes Chef, and Yoav Oren, CEO and co-founder of Zug. So I think now, with that being said, I will pass the mic to our friend in Zell to start their pitches. And first, I want to welcome Nimrod from Dynamo. And Nimrod, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. I'm just sharing my screen. Okay. Are we good with my screen?
Yes, we are.
Great. So thank you very much for your time, for your presence, and for this invitation. I'm very happy to be here. I'd like to speak a little bit about Dynamo, my fourth company, fourth startup, and the third one with the same co-founder. His name is Or Kowarski. He's not a Zell alumni, but he's okay also because he went to the IDC. Dynamo. At Dynamo, we are trying to use the fact that people around the world, they want to learn something new. We all know that most of us, if not all of us, we use digital tech like crazy, and we have hectic schedules. And also, it's a little bit of a secret, but we have some self-discipline issues, at least some of us. Now, we believe at Dynamo that these facts, known facts or maybe known secrets, are a great ground to create something magical, which is a technique to learn new things, new pieces of information effortlessly and seamlessly. What we are doing at Dynamo, and I will explain in a second how we are doing it, but what we're doing, we've created we call it the seamless learning technique. It is a technique which uses the fact that we are always around and within the digital channels. Digital channels are something like WhatsApp and Instagram and Pinterest and SMSs and even the lock screen of our own devices on one hand, and on the other, many of us or many people are in the process of learning something new, whether it's a GMAT that they must, quote unquote, pass, if it's medical licensing exams and finals and things like that, and also for a self-enrichment, chess turns or anything else that you can imagine. In the end of the day, what our learning technique or seamless learning technique does, it weaves into your daily or our daily digital routine, the learning experiences. Now, how we do that? Our secret sauce is based on two main ingredients. One is spaced repetition. Spaced repetition, I will explain in a second. And the second one is seamless streaming, which is the main aspect or the main ingredient of our how in this case. So spaced repetition is something that I find very, very interesting. It is a sub-subject from cognitive psychology, and it means in a very simple way that there is a forgetting curve to any of us, a personalized forgetting curve, and we forget things. So far, so good. The thing is about spaced repetition, it's a model that reminds us in a specific period of times, in this case, T1, T2, T3, T4, it reminds us a few minutes or before we tend to forget something, it reminds us the piece of information. What is the trick, or it's not a trick, it's a well-known fact, is that as time goes by, I can remind, or the algorithm can remind the user on a longer period of times. In the end of the day, if the algorithm works, in our case it works, it means that I will bring my users not to forget anything. I won't say for life, but for a long period of times. The second ingredient in our secret sauce is the seamless streaming concept. We are, as I said before, we are weaving into the digital current daily routine of ourselves the learning experiences. So, for example, if I'm using WhatsApp and SMS and Instagram, okay, after I picked the topic from the Dynamo system, I will see questions and exercises based, of course, on the topic that I've chosen, weaved into my day-to-day experiences. So, for example, I'm scrolling through my Instagram feed, and I see the different questions and exercises within them. We have dozens of seamless channels. We're exchanging ads with learning experiences. We're changing messages. We're changing posts, and so on and so forth. That's it, more or less. I have made room for questions about, if you want, about the TAM, about the business model, about whatever you choose.
Yeah, maybe Nimrod, just a little about the stage you're in and how much, what you raised to date, what you're looking for.
Okay. So we raised, this is, I call it the tactical timeline. Sorry, my partner is an Air Force pilot and I've been into the Army for too long maybe. But our tactical timeline is as follows. We have 2 lines of products. You see on the right side, we are already in the monetization and growth phase with our Dynamo family. Our Dynamo family lines of products are products that are basing the seamless, that are executing the seamless learning technique for parents and for kids. Think about a kid that solves hundreds of math questions a week without fighting with his or her parents. On the left side, you can see in the beginning, we are only now in the product promise market fit phase with our new product line, which is Dynamo for parents, for adults, sorry, we call it Dynamo 10X. So far, we raised $2.5 million during 2 periods of times before the Corona and during the Corona. We are looking for a Series A around Q2 2021.
Thank you, Nimrod. Any other questions from the crowd? Someone? Do we have a volunteer here? Maybe you can tell us a bit more about the business model.
Okay. So we have a value proposition for, we call it the enhancers. There are numerous types of learning enhancers around the globe. We have what we know, for example, in Israel, we have the psychometric institutes and businesses. We have GMAT, we have for all the psychotechnic tests. We also have big potential within the medical arena, whether it's the preclinic prep systems and softwares and websites and apps for the post-clinic or for the clinical phase and for the post in the internship. We have giants, unicorns such as Quizlet and Chegg that are interested in finding more ways or better ways to teach and learn and help and enhance the learning and studying of others. So we are approaching them in different ways.
Great, thank you. Any other questions, or we are moving on?
Maybe just put okay, here's your email, or how do you reach you? And by the way, first of all, I encourage everybody to put Q&A in the Q&A box. And then also, obviously, then we'll send everybody who wants the presentations and the contacts of everybody. So thank you so much, Nimrod. Thank you so much. It was great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, so let's welcome our next panelist, Tommy from Magical. And as Ayal said, I encourage you to participate. Don't be so shy.
Hey everyone, happy to be here. Very excited to be here, and thank you for the opportunity. My name is Tommy Barav, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Magical. And I'm excited to show you what is Magical, and I'm sharing my screen with you. You can see it now. Great. So we are building a time machine for the teams of the future. By staying in a time machine, it's not like we reinvented. It's not like we invented time travel, but we are reinventing the calendar for modern teams. And Magical is a collaborative calendar that helps teams run better sessions. If they're actually schedule more time for deep work and deep sessions, and actually reclaim control over their time. And to understand why we're actually reinventing the calendar, you need to understand the second wave of SaaS that we are now seeing in the workspace, in the modern workspace. And we're seeing this trend of unbundling G Suite and Office 365. Think about chat applications are now Slack or Teams, conferences are now Zoom, even email clients. Instead of Gmail, modern teams are using Superhuman and Front. And if you want the best spreadsheet in the world, you will probably use Airtable. And the reason that I know that, because I'm a productivity trainer, and also I built one of the biggest productivity communities in the world called Super Tools. And we're reviewing a lot of these apps and actually giving access to many of these applications. But calendar remains untapped. The calendar is the most outdated tool in everyone's digital stack, and we want to reinvent it. Now, I don't know why or who decided that our calendar should be designed to spend our days with useless meetings, but this is the current situation. If you open your calendar, you'll probably see this. And actually, after COVID-19, we experienced even more increasing of useless meetings by actually 26%. And we need to stop it. We need to design a better calendar, a calendar that will not take our employees' time. Now, every knowledge worker that we know is going to spend 31 hours every month on poorly designed meetings. So the meetings that you have on your calendar, 64% of them considered to be a time waste and come at expense of core work. And it costs billions of money for companies, actually $400 billion every year for companies and organizations in the US alone. This is based on a Doodle survey, a recent Doodle survey. We want to change it. We want to make the calendar, which is the main organism of time, a tool that teams deserve, a system of intelligence, something that can help you plan your time, a system of records, something that can transfer your calendar to help you record meetings and manage meetings, and a system of engagement, a collaborative calendar, like you collaborative on meeting notes and on your time. Want to make the calendar much smarter. So we are rethinking the whole process of a calendar. We want to not only reinvent the calendar, we want to reinvent time management by turning the most efficient UI that we know, which is the calendar, from a block of hours into the center of our workflow. So by taking many silos and many workflows, many productivity workflows, like scheduling assistant that you probably use, time trackers, and task management, we want to consolidate them into one reliable tool. So what is Magical? Magical is the calendar that is built for speed. So imagine app-like templates that you can just put inside of your calendar, and you're going to have the most lightning fast scheduling that you ever know. A collaborative, you can collaborate on notes with your team, and you can also automate meeting workflows, which is. Now, Magical is also built for focus. So inside of Magical, we're also using machine learning in order to optimize your calendar. So imagine knowledge workers that can get a calendar that actually helps them become more focused, and with sessions that even can get you into a focus zone and into a distraction-free zone. Now, every event in Magical is a living dashboard, imagine a living workspace when you can capture notes, tasks, even videos after your meeting ends. And we're doing everything automatically with meeting workflows that the user can automate. And it's also built for remote work. Every event in Magical is shareable. It's a linkable workspace when you can share with your team, meaning that we can reduce a lot of the useless meetings, giving teams the power that they need to run asynchronous meetings as well. Magical is driven by the world's biggest productivity community. We have more than 30,000 people in this community that are testing our product and making it the best and the most crafted and the most delightful experience when it will go out. In terms of traction, we have 60,000 people on our waiting list, and the first batch is going on February 2021. The team, we are a great team of product designers and deep technology experts, machine learning, and Didi Medina, which is our product designer. We worked with companies like InVision, Compass, and Mixbooks, and my co-founder and CTO is also an expert in machine learning and data science. And that's it. I'm happy to answer any question that you have about the business, about the go-to-market, and thank you for listening.
I remind everyone that if you have a question, you can just send it in the chat because you don't have your microphones on. But if you want to ask it using the microphone, so again, text us in the chat and we'll open your mic. But maybe in the meantime, Tommy, you can tell us more about the competitive advantage and who you might see as your biggest competitor.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go to this slide. So, so actually, the way we see the competitors, we're actually consolidating the time management space because we are offering a very holistic experience for the calendar. So if you think about the competitors, we have some scheduling tools, planning tools, and utilizing tools. Utilizing tools are all these system of record tools like Navigator, Hugo, Coda, and Notion are well known in this space. And the way we see it, we want to bring this experience to the calendar. We want to make one reliable tool that all these kind of tools going to be built inside. There are some imagined competitors like Ready.so, which is probably going to be our biggest competitors. We are monitoring them. They are pre-alpha, not even pre-beta. This is why we are more advanced than them. We raise more money than them, and we are hiring faster, and we're more advanced in the product as well. But yeah, we're monitoring the competitors. But as for you, if you think about the next gen of calendar, many of our competitors are more focused on scheduling, tackling the scheduling problems, and we see the problem in a more holistic way, bundling planning, scheduling, and utilizing into one package.
Thank you for that. I see we have a question in the chat. Dina is asking if you can elaborate about the POCs and the pricing model, and also elaborate a bit about the stage that you are at and how much are you looking to raise?
Sure. So I'm going to surprise some of you, but we're actually going to charge money for Magical. So this is a part of the second wave of SaaS for the future of work. People are willing to pay for more advanced workflows and more advanced tools that are going to change dramatically the way they do work and the way they actually one example for it is the email experience that completely changed with Superhuman in front. And the part of it, we're actually going to charge individuals, business, and the enterprise as well. You can see the pricing here. We're going to have trial. We're going to have a free limited version of Magical just to allow the growth plan and the viral loops inside of Magical. But this is currently the price point of Magical. And the second question was around, if I recall, the current status of the company.
Yes.
Let me go to this current status. So you can see what we did so far. So we did a market discovery, market research on our community. We interviewed more than 100 people, including 50 team leaders from Notion, Facebook, Dropbox, and other companies. We came up with a concept, with a design concept, and then we started coding a full calendar functionality with deep technologies like NLP, machine learning that can help you optimize your schedule and offer you some deep work sessions, time for focus, and other components. We have integrations with Trello, Zoom, and two-way sync with G Suite, which is really, really important because we don't want you to compromise your experience with other people. In order to create this network effect, we want to allow you a smooth transition to Magical from other suites and other platforms.
Great, thank you. And the last question, I think, was how much are you looking to raise?
Great. So we're pretty advanced you can see it here. So we're pretty advanced. We are looking to raise $3 million. This is the first institutional funding of the company. It's $3 million. We already have a leading investor, the investor of Sunrise, Mixmax, and Clubhouse. If you don't know, one of the most exciting productivity tools out there for the future work, Sunrise was acquired by Microsoft. It's considered to be the best replacement for a calendar. And we are backed by these investors and also leading investors and angel investors that are leading the productivity space, like the investors of Sneak and leaders from Notion, Gmail, and the Google executive team, like Yossi Matias that recently joined as an angel investor. And we're about to close the round. We might have a few allocation around $250,000. but we're going pretty fast. And as you can see the terms here, 8 million pre-money valuation. And that's it.
Thank you very much, Tony. And if we don't have any other questions, Ayal, you want to say something?
Oh, thank you, Tommy. It's great, and happy to see you again. And good luck with your new venture.
Next time in Papos, yeah.
We went to Papos together a few years ago.
Okay, so we are ready to welcome our next panelist, Yotam from Whiskey. Yotam.
Hey, thank you. So thank you for the opportunity to join. I hope I could see all of you in real, but unfortunately we can't. So let's just share my screen. There you go. Great. So I hope there's some skiers out there in the crowd. I myself, a skier and snowboarder, like many millions in the world right now, waiting for the ski resorts to be open so we can go back and ski and do what we love. Now, just to give you a bit of a background on how big it is, skiers are spending around $60 billion every year on a normal year to go skiing, and there's no global brand that leads this market today. It's actually a lot of local companies that are really fragmented in each country selling it. And the big opportunity there is because the ticket size is $9,000 in average for a group of 5 people. And skiers are very addicted skiers. So they ski, 80% of skiers are going skiing once a year, if not twice or 3 times a year. And it's not like a regular city break or a beach holiday. Booking a ski holiday is a very big and complicated task. It's actually requiring you to book 5 or 6 elements. So you need the flights, the transfers, the accommodations, the ski pass equipment, and even lessons to combine all that. You need to know how and where you should go. So whether the ski resort is good for beginners or good for upright ski, how to get there, when is a good time to be there, and all the weather and snow conditions that you need to take into consideration. All that you need to then compare and make a lot of combinations to eventually find the best price and the best fit for yourself, which is something we all want as travelers. And that's what Whiskey is all about. It's a one-stop shop for selling ski trips. We are connected to all these components of flights, accommodations, ski pass via APIs, via technology that's comparing everything to find the best prices, to allow the users to find everything they need. So there's no time limitations. They can go for any dates, any duration, choose any type of transportation or flight they want, and eventually giving a free ski expert service both when you book or on the resort. When you arrive, we have ski experts that welcome our guests and explains them about where they arrived and where they should go eat and where they should go ride and so on. And we've done it with a very seamless experience, both on mobile and on desktop. Now, imagine it's such a complicated task to book all of that, and we managed to do it in one very simple flow. So I'll try to make the demo work. Well, the video doesn't work somehow. Well, it doesn't work. I'll show you maybe the website later. We've launched Whiskey in 2016, just after the Zell program. To date, we've sent more than 7,000 skiers to Europe, both from Israel and from the UK. We've sold more than $8 million of ski holidays. That was stopped somewhere in March last year because of COVID, of course, and got us into a very challenging mode, which we are now hoping to get through. And the reason we've opened Whiskey, the reason we've done it, is that we were not happy with the solutions out there. So today, if you want to book a whole package, you can always go to the tour operators. They exist for more than 40 years now. They sell you a very closed package. So it's pre-committed inventory where they chose 5 hotels they work with on 4 or 5 resorts in each country. It's not flexible, and it's usually 20% more expensive than if you do it alone. Now, as you can see, when you do it independently, it's even worse because you have to plan all that through different websites. You need to then split the bookings and split the payments with your friends and then reimburse each one of them. And you're getting no direct contact for support or for the coverage of your trip. So if there's a problem, you need to start chasing those vendors, and it doesn't really give you the support you need. And what we've done with Whiskey, we combined it with technology to make the best solution to solve this problem. So our technology, which is connected to all those APIs, and some of them we're actually digitizing, we're able to source all of that with no commitment. So we're not paying anything in advance. It giving us the ability to offer much more inventory to our users. And above that, created a ski scanner technology that shows us and shows the user which dates are the best to go and how they can save money if they move just 1 or 2 days to the right for their trip. And with that, we've added a dynamic pricing system. So we are always optimizing our commission model to maximize the conversion rates and maximize our profit. And we've built that over 4 years, eventually got to a very profitable model. Last year, we've done 5x on our marketing spend. So returning in 2 weeks from our marketing spends, we made an average net revenue 5x bigger than that. And our plans to pass the pandemic, to pass the COVID impact, is actually using our strength of being flexible, of not owning inventory, which become a major strength in this world, where our competition is built upon that. So tour operators that had commitments for 10 years on apartments are now suffering heavy losses. Some of them are just going bust. Some of them are cutting offices and projects. And we, in the same time, get more and more inventory with better terms. And we're able to always change our markets, change our marketing according to the green and red countries, and etc. Now, who are we? So together with me was David, my co-founder. We met in the Zell program 6 years ago. Both of us are skiers from very young age, and we decided to solve that problem. And joined us Pavel a year and a half ago. He was with me in the army. He's been coding and leading R&D teams for 15 years now, building this old technology the best way possible. Today, we've raised $3.8 million from industry leaders, people from travel and B2C companies, helping us to build this amazing business and actually build the brand in this huge market, which we believe is the right way to do to win this global market. That's what we want to do. And with Whiskey, we're building a category leader in the ski holidays market. We are currently raising our 4th round. We have a lead investors in it, and I'm happy to answer any question you have. And thank you for letting me present to you.
Does anyone have a question? Maybe Yotam tell the audience. Oh, I see there is a question. What's your corn rate and which market are you targeting to start with? And how big is the round also?
What is your churn rate?
Oh, sorry.
What is your churn rate?
Yeah. How many people continue to work with you? How many leave you?
Yeah, for sure. So we've been improving over the years. Between the 18-19 and 19-20 season, we've had 15% returning customers. One of the things that we've been doing and changing in the product is adding the local reps that are people that work in the resort and get our guests, improving the customer experience and then improving the return rate. Regarding how much we're raising $2 million. We already have 500,000 committed, and we're just adding now more investors to this round. Happy to give more information offline then.
Okay. So thank you, Yotam. Any other questions? I see, yeah, so Dina asked again, how big is the round, but maybe she can get these details privately. So we'll make the connection.
The round size is $2 million.
Oh, great. Perfect. So thank you, Yotam, again. And let's welcome now Steve, Chef.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Yotam. Nice to meet everybody. Thanks for coming. Let me share my screen. So we are building the world's first premium brand and experience for home cooking. And I think the best way to just show you what we're doing is to just show you what we're doing.
Learning happens when you decide to take a risk, do something different. The more you start to trust your own palate. Once you get that, you're cooking for real.
I went to Italy for the summer. I fell in love with Italy then, did a lot of cooking, mostly fell in love with how delicious everything was.
I'm defined by two places, New York and Kentucky. Two worlds of cuisine, like Southern food and sort of the Korean food that I grew up with.
I cooked from the age of 16, I think. I grow my own veggies. This is my heritage, fresh and simple.
Ma quando mi chiedono, tu lavori tutti i giorni? Io gli rispondo, non ho mai lavorato un giorno. Buon appetito a tutti!
It's very simple. I want to make something that's delicious.
This is Yes Chef.
Food is something that connects everybody, and we're out to let everyone learn how to cook and create the world's first premium experience dedicated to a market that's hungry to learn. Our goal is to become the global leader and to serve over 1 billion households who cook every day. And to get there, we're building a very premium experience, starting with 100 million home chefs, which are about 60% in the US and 40% around the globe. And since we started the company, I'm really excited to say that we've signed with 13 of the world's most amazing chefs, including our own Israeli Erez Komarovsky, who we shot with this past June. But really an amazing mix of chefs who represent the modern world of cuisine and who are out to teach in their own Netflix-like experience on a dedicated premium experience just for cooking. We began our sales in exactly a year ago in December of last year. We just passed $1 million year to date in subscription sales. Our average ARPU, our average sales around $190, which is a 20% lifetime and 80% annual subscription split. And we've got about 7,000, just a little over 7,000 paying subscribers today. And just as a note, industry leading, 3.8% refund, which is part of our 30-day money-back guarantee. So as far as a premium value proposition, we're really getting amazing traction and very excited to see what December is going to bring. Our business model is straight up all access class to an ever-growing library of content, and we sell both an annual and a lifetime, as I mentioned. And we've also recently added a 2-for-1, which is accounting for around 10% of our sales. And this is really just the first business model around this concept of creating a platform that's both content and experience. And there will be plenty of other future opportunities, including e-commerce as one quick example. Content is king and experience is queen. And that's something that we've learned from Netflix and a few other great content companies like Spotify. And what we're doing is not only developing our own Hollywood level content that we're shooting and producing ourselves, but we're also delivering it inside of a premium tech-powered user experience that's dedicated to home cooking. And that as an experience simply doesn't exist in the world. And one of our secret sauces, besides the fact that, how do we get these amazing chefs to teach and how do we create this whole platform, is actually in making the content 5 cents on the dollar to what Netflix spends for producing pretty much the same kind of content or the same quality of content. And that tech layer that I mentioned is something that's very, very deeply ingrained into the product experience. And so not only are we creating these great videos that you can watch on your couch or in your kitchen, but we're also creating many different ways for you to engage with that content and learn, whether it's as a piece of entertainment or whether it's actually as a guided instructional experience inside your home. Oh, sorry. Incredible team based in Israel. Our headquarters are here in Israel with our tech team, CTO and product team here, but our productions and post-productions are based out of Toronto, where our daughter company is. And we have amazing people spread out around the world. We're truly an international team. And I personally have been working I'm originally from Toronto. I've been in Israel now for 17 years, graduated the Zell program in 2007. And since then I've been doing high-tech early stage startups, including being head of product at Polar Ventures, which is over 200 million. We raised 2.8 million to date from incredible investors, both angels and leading funds. We are now raising our pre-A or early A or A, whatever you want to call it, $5 million round, which we're closing in the coming months with commitments from our current investors. And that'll allow us to scale out to 150,000 paying subscribers, hopefully by the end of next year, exactly 1 year from today, and also produce our next 10 classes. We've shot 4 classes to date with over 300 recipes, techniques, and lessons available currently on the platform. And I invite your questions, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Do we have any questions? I have one.
Yeah, please.
I would like to ask, how do you see COVID-19 affecting your potential clients?
Well, we've already seen it affecting us in a very positive way. You know, where we would have predicted the market a year ago, where we have this 100 million home chefs out there, actually that market has increased dramatically as people around the world are stuck at home and looking for new experiences that are both educational, but also entertaining. And also what's unique about our classes and our content is that it's very much taking you on this sort of journey, letting you travel through your screen, which is something that most people aren't able to do obviously right now because of the travel restrictions. And so we're seeing an incredible increase in demand, both on the people who are already into cooking and in market, but also on this amazing new market that's opened up for us truly internationally. We're currently selling in over 80 countries.
Wow. Do we have any other questions?
We have one question on the chat and one on the Q&A. The question on the Q&A is, how is this different from Masterclass and the like?
Sure, a great question. You know, Masterclass is building a wonderful platform, but they're building a broad, generic education experience that's meant to continuously expand into new verticals. And what we're doing is focused on food and cooking, which is unique because there is no premium, high-end cooking experience out there. There is no Netflix for cooking, if you will. Instead, the internet is really flooded with user-generated and amateur content. Sure, Masterclass has cooking classes by some great chefs, but it is not a dedicated cooking experience. And in fact, their cooking library is an ever-shrinking part of their overall library as they continue to add new verticals. And just from a very quick format and experience perspective, there's a vast difference in the way that our classes look and feel. We're building a rich, interactive and immersive cooking experience that's focused on taking you on that journey. Masterclass is doing talking head, sort of educational content. And from a user experience perspective, vastly. And of course, by the way, many of our customers actually have Masterclass subscriptions, and 5 of our chefs have actually turned down Masterclass in order to sign with us instead, because we are building that food-focused educational platform.
Great, thank you. And the other question was, what is the cap of the round?
What is the cap of the round?
The pre-money valuation, I guess.
So 5 million is on a 15 pre. And we also actually have a small safe opened up right now as well, if anybody's looking to do an angel investment with a 9 million pre-money cap. But the equity round is with the 5 million on 50.
I think the last question was by Tal Kenan. What is the revenue share model, and is there any minimum commitment for the chefs?
Yeah, so we do a very deep partnership with our chefs that's meant to be a long-term, lifelong relationship. So we give them rev shares of based on their views of their classes on every view for as long as that class is on the platform, as a percentage of our total honeypot, which is a 15% net revenue stake that gets split across all of our chefs. And we're bringing in some very, very, very high-end tier 1 chefs who you may or may not be familiar with, but in the world of food and celebrity chefdom, these guys are at the very, very top of their game. And we're managing to do that not only with a sort of cash advance, but really the idea of this revenue share model that's meant to pay them for as long as their class is on the platform.
Thank you, Steve.
And
Okay.
thank you, Kavit, for your nice message here. You can you're invited to check out the platform, and I'm happy to give everyone free access to the platform. You can just shoot me a DM, and we'll give it to you.
Thank you. That's great.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, so if no more questions, we can welcome our last panelist, last but not least, Yoav from Zug. Yoav, the stage is yours.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Hopefully okay. Hey, give me maybe a thumbs up so I know that you can hear me.
Yeah, fine. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining me. I'm happy to join you guys. I am not a Zell alum, unfortunately, though I've been in negotiations with Liat to become an honorary Zell. My co-founder Matan is with us as well, is a Zell alum, and we're always happy to present to Zell and Zell's friends. So hello again, thank you for having us. We're Zug, and we're building a brand new storytelling format that really connects generations. And I want to take a moment and just tell you a bit about what convinced us that this is the product that we desperately need, and especially now. So people now more than ever are communicating through video. The fact that we're presenting to you this way is pretty much a testament to that as well. The problem is that children communicate very differently than their grandparents do, or really anyone else for that matter. As you guys know, kids don't do small talk. They view conversations, video conversations, as repetitive and incredibly boring. And grandparents, for their part, are longing to connect with their grandkids, but are not really sure how to. And in between, there are us, the parents, who feel like we sometimes need to bribe our kids just to get them to speak with our folks for a couple minutes. As parents, we've experienced this firsthand and know this well. This is personal to us. And the data tells a similar story. Grandparents view distance as being the #1 barrier to seeing their grandchildren. And at the same time, close to 90% of grandparents link engagement with their grandkids to their general mental well-being. And to top all of this, 70% of grandparents in the US get to see their grandkids only twice a year. So what jumps out from these metrics is clear. Distant family members long to feel connected more than ever before, and video calls, the way they are experienced today, simply doesn't always cut it. There needs to be a better digital experience to enable them to have a meaningful interaction. One of the things that came up in every interview we conducted, and we've done several hundred of these, is that grandparents love to read books to their grandkids. Reading books is actually the only activity that grandparents mention that they do with their grandkids, both offline and try to do with them online as well. We all remember our favorite childhood story, and we've seen that really the books act as this gateway between generations. So we decided to take these books and bring them to life, and through them, create a new way to communicate. We're building the world's most interactive book reading experience. We're creating a new video format for storytelling that allows grandparents, or really any other distant family member, to take any kid book and bring it to life using modern AR and advanced video and animation capabilities. This will allow the narrator to record a book and deliver an amazing and personalized experience to the kids who will be able to view it whenever they want and save it forever. Think if you had a video of your grandmother reading your favorite childhood story, and then you would be able to share it with your children one day. Think of the value of that. But that's not all we're planning. Further down the road, we're looking to expand beyond books. We know that once we have a format that both sides enjoy using, we can use that same format and offer our audience additional content that they will be able to create, bringing to life personal video greetings, songs, and pretty much any other content. We're currently laser focused on books, but we're extremely excited about what the future holds for us as well. And the market is massive. It's huge. In the US alone, there are over 70 million grandparents today, and this number is due to grow by 24% in the next 20 years. And as I mentioned, grandparents get to see their grandkids only twice a year. So their default way of communicating with them is via video anyway. And as we know, that's not good enough. What do they do though? We know that grandparents spend a lot of money on gifts for their grandkids. On average, grandparents spend $2,500 a year on gifts to their grandkids, which amounts to $175 billion a year in the US only. Huge. Regarding our business model, when it comes to books, we are confident that we'll be even closer to monetization. People are used to paying for books, and therefore we strongly feel that implementing a subscription model will be the most straightforward model for our customers and a lucrative model for our business. In addition, we've already started conversations with publishers who are excited about what we're building and expressed enthusiasm about working with us. We're looking to create a marketplace with a rev share model for the publishers so that they will be able to give them clear value by adding an additional revenue stream, and at the same time offering our users access to additional content. I wish I had more time to introduce everyone, but I'll just introduce Matan very quickly, who's here on the call, my co-founder, CTO. Matan, besides being a mensch and a pleasure to work with, has an amazing experience working in 3 different consumer-based startups in the past decade, usually the first or second employee, and really building the product from the ground up with these startups. He has been on the nexus of both product and development, and really it's a privilege for me to work with Matan, and great to have him as part of my team. So what's the bottom line? We're creating a new format for storytelling. Think TikTok meets Audible. We're building something completely unique that really has never been done before. We're tapping into an ancient tradition of storytelling, something that's really transcend time, and we're adapting it to the 21st century. We're creating experiences that kids will love to receive, and grandparents, parents, and even educators will love to create for them. We've already begun user testing with our POC users. We have about 50 families in the US who we're working with constantly, and we're looking to release our MVP to the App Store in the beginning of Q1. We're changing the way families interact with each other and how stories are being told. And I welcome you to ask any question you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Yoav. I see we have a few questions already. So the first one is, I'll take it from the chat first. If you think it would be possible to target B2Bs also, such as nursing homes and hospice, instead of B2C?
I think it's a great question. When Matan and I first started, and then we started defining our target audience, we were really focused, I guess, not on the younger grandparents. So really, we're focused more on the baby boomer sector, so kind of 55 to 75. So it kind of falls in between the lines. And we saw a lot of the age tech that we were seeing was really geared towards an older community, older generations that, and a lot of the products that were being built there are like very geriatric focused products. And we wanted to build a product that on one hand was cool, was empowering to this generation, but also this is a generation that their engagement and experience with technology is not very far away from the way you and I interact with technology. So it's empowering, and it's not for the people who are living in old age homes. So it's, I guess, a little younger, the generation before that.
Great, thank you. Another question was whether the books would be available in several languages. I heard you're now targeting the US, but what's the plan?
So definitely. The short answer is definitely. I can tell you that we raised money for some great funds, including the Zell Fund, of course, Reimagine Ventures, and Joy Ventures. And we have some great connections, especially in the European markets, through Reimagine Ventures and their LPs, which are great publishers like ProSieben, Axel Springer, and others. And so we have good connections in Europe, and we're definitely going to be focused on those markets as well.
Great, thank you. And the last question is, will a live option be available? Like, don't you think offline might harm the communication between generations?
So I did not plant this question, but I'm happy you asked. So the way we're thinking about it is this. No, it's a great question. So most video communication tools, right, that we've seen, including some of our top, I guess, competitors, live communication is usually a zero-sum game, right? Either both sides are available for a call or they're not. What we're going to be offering is a pathway towards live. So we still want to create these great asynchronous experiences, but then what we're going to do is we're going to have the recipient, once the recipient opens up this experience, the person creating the video will receive a notification, and they'll have the option to opt into the call and join the call. Now, if they're available. If they're not available, it still doesn't jeopardize the entire experience, and the recipient will still be able to experience and to have a great experience, a delightful experience. But if they want to, they'll be able to join the call and therefore have a live experience as well. So we're seeing this, we want to kind of bridge these two together, both the asynchronous and the synchronous experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure does. Thank you. So with that, with your pitch, I think we've reached the end of this demo day. And I hope you had an insightful time as much as I did, for sure. I think this is a great opportunity to thank all of you for joining us. We genuinely believe this is the best forum to encourage the growth of the Israeli ecosystem. And I invite you to join us to our next demo days. The next one is going to be in the end of December, also again together with Zell. And we are planning, as Ayal mentioned in the beginning, to do it once in a few weeks. So thank you all again for joining us today. I want to thank all founders for your insightful presentations. I had the best time. And I want to thank also our friends and colleagues from the IDC Herzliya, and of course Zell, the Zell team, which is Liat, Tali, Nofar, Dana. Of course, I want to thank also Dr. Ayal Shenav and Kochavit Akunis, our marketing director, for putting up this event all together. And if you have any questions, you have my email here, you have Ayal's email, of course, and I invite you to ask more questions and I'll make the introductions. And let's see if we have more questions, because I see the chat here. Okay, great.
So thank you again. Thank you, Yarden, for hosting this and organizing with Kochavit. And I'll see you, hopefully we see everyone in 2 weeks' time. The 21st is the shortest day of the year, but
Right.
We're going to have the demo day. And 5 more exciting companies coming out of Zell. And then probably in January and February, we'll have other events, and I'm sure it will expand over time. So thank you again for everybody for coming. And we tried to keep it 1 hour as we promised, and I think we're mostly done, basically.
Yes. Thank you again, and have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.